It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's just a sticker.
Okay,
okay.
We're live. By the way, we're live.
Oh, we're live.
Oh,
Sick.
we're
Oh,
live.
shit. Okay.
I'm so sorry. Wait, can someone tell me if you can hear us or no?
Hello. Testing.
Testing. Okay, let me.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my god. Oh, sorry, it's not connected to my microphone. Not iPhone microphone. Not Zoom. Oh my god, which microphone is this? So sorry, guys. Can anyone hear us? Testing.
I don't think they can hear us.
Universe, please tell me if you can hear us. Okay, so I guess
we can just shout at the computer.
Yeah, let's just shout. This is so bad. I'm so sorry. Like literally.
It's okay. Don't
Anyway,
panic.
first time for everything. Yeah. And then this is just completely disconnected
Are
to
we also
LinkedIn.
live on Instagram? Oh, that's wild.
On my Instagram for sure. Okay, let's just turn this off because
Okay.
I really don't want it to mess up the rest of the recording.
All
right now.
Hopefully people can hear us.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully people will hear us. It's all hopeful.
We're doing a live podcast.
We're doing a live podcast, everyone. So we actually have people live audience, and this conference starts in like an hour, but people started showing up right now. Okay, I'm not sure if we should address the live audience or like the live audience here.
We can address both audiences.
Okay, let's address the both audience.
Do you guys hear anything that you want to ask questions about? We're doing a live podcast.
Yeah.
Just
Sorry. Hey guys. Yeah, this is pre-conference conference. Okay.
These are the early arrivals.
Okay, so to start the show, I would love for the audience to learn more about you. Why don't we start with your background? Can you sit in front of this? Like we should be on the same level, basically.
Okay.
Or maybe I sit
here. You can't like see my head.
That's a problem. Yeah.
Oh.
True. Okay. Sorry to be this cringe. Okay. So today we're live at AWS Loft, and so my friend Yujian is having a conference here later today for the developers.
It's actually right now.
Like literally right now. But anyway, why don't we start with tell us more about yourself, and then for the audience who are actually here. So we're actually recording on my computer, so if the live audience is like looks very confused anyway. So why don't we start with like your background, and then we can go from there.
So I used to be a software engineer. I started off back when I was 16. I worked at IBM for a while. I worked there for about 3 years. I went to study machine learning in college, and then
you forgot that you started coding when you were like 6 or 16.
I didn't start coding when I was 6. I started working.
It was literally on your LinkedIn. But anyway.
I started working at IBM when I was 16. I won some international computer science contests, and I got my chops. How's it going, man? Good to see you.
Sorry, we're literally recording live. I'm sorry. This is so awkwardly organized.
This is great.
But
actually.
anyway, okay, great. Yeah.
I love this. This is exactly how live events are.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, I started working there. I did machine learning research. I published some papers. I went to Amazon. We're at AWS here now. I went to Amazon. I worked on their AutoML system. And then I kind of dipped and I started doing startups. My first 2 startups, I just lost a bunch of money. And then,
I feel like we're supposed to skip this part, but anyway, keep going.
Okay, well.
The failed startups.
Yeah. I have a few failed startups, and then I went and I started working in DevRel, and then I started organizing community events. And last year I started my own community. We grew from about 0 to 7,000. We had 11,000 attendees. And now I'm trying to do bigger events during the day and stuff like that. So that's me. That's catches up to where I'm at now.
Okay, perfect. Why don't we start talking about what are the theme of these events? Because obviously you built like a really strong dev community. And why don't we talk about, first of all, what are some lessons that you've learned through hosting community events, as well as working with devs every single day?
Yeah.
What are some core lessons and key takeaways?
Yeah. So the theme of my events is AI dev tools, right? So my background is as a software engineer who worked in AI for a while. I was like, hey, this is cool. I like these things. I also have like an open source background. So surprisingly, I haven't written in many contributions since, but I was one of the first people to write a contribution to Llama Index. But that's kind of like the theme, AI dev tools. I think part of it is like when I was working at Zillis as a DevRel, I was like, hey, it's really nice to do these events. People can come to these events, they can learn a lot, and they can like network with people. But when you work for a company that does it, you can really only do it for or with the partner ecosystem for that company. And so I thought, hey, it would be much more interesting. I thought back to when I was a dev, and I was like, it'd be much more interesting if I could go to many of this, like if I could go to the same event series and learn from many, many different people in many, many different areas. And so that was kind of like the impetus, like the reason of why I started it. And then I guess there was demand because it grew very quickly.
For sure. Okay, so let's talk about like what was the first event, and maybe talk about. Let's start with today's event.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So today's event is very exciting. We're literally live at AWS. If you just joined, but keep going. Sorry.
Yes. So the event today is the AI in Production mini conference. We have a lineup of like 7 speakers, something like that. I should know this. But there's we have a lot of speakers. Anyway. And we have a bunch of companies here. We have Arise, Pinecone, GMI Cloud, Ingest, Shadeform, and this one more. Oh, Thesis. And so we have a bunch of people here to kind of like, a bunch of companies in different verticals doing different things. So a bunch of different interesting people to talk to, and all working on different things. And they'll all be talking with us today about what they're working on, why they're working on it, how they built what they're building, all that stuff. And I'm going to give a specific shout out to Arise here because I've worked with them for a long time, and they just raised a 70 million Series C. So congrats to them.
Okay, so what are the most exciting things that you're about today? So like, what are some exciting topics for the audience to learn from?
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking a lot about things that people are actually doing, like putting AI into production. We're also going to be hearing later on in the afternoon. So we're going to be hearing from both the people who work directly with developers at Arise and Pinecone, as well as Thesis. The founder of Thesis is here. And then, Ingest's founder is also here. They built a AI agent like framework that is around orchestration, which is a little bit different. It's a little bit,
What is orchestration?
So, oh God, this is such a good question. Oh God, okay. So if you think about Llama Index or LangChain, which most people know about, they help you orchestrate the different pieces of, maybe I would think of them almost like data orchestration. They help you move data around. They help you call the LLM and stuff like that. But on top of that, oh God, I guess it just kind of does data orchestration too. But it's a little bit different because it touches like the bare metal stuff. So it's not just like, hey, like here's like a thing that you can, it's not just like putting things together in Python, but it's like a full thing that you can put into production. So it's a little bit different in that sense, a little bit wider of a scope. So yeah, and then we'll be having some panel later with Corey. Just walked in. He's from Pinecone, so he'll be be part of our panel. I just want to ask a question.
Yeah. Hi, Andrew.
Oh, okay. It's not a question.
Okay.
It's just a comment.
It's a compliment.
Oh, thank you. I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
Okay, Pinecone.
Pinecone.
Okay, hi.
Corey,
you want to say hi?
Yeah, you want to say hi?
We're doing a live podcast right now.
Oh, sure.
Okay,
yeah, say hi. Just get in the background. Wave.
Hello.
This is Corey from Pinecone.
Hi.
He'll be speaking later today.
Perfect.
All right, I'll see you later.
Okay, cool. See you later. And then later on, we'll also have a couple talks. I think I'm actually really excited for Matt White's talk as well. He's from the Linux Foundation. I think he I don't know if he's still doing it, but he was like the interim president of the PyTorch Foundation as well for a while. So
what does it mean to be like the
interim president?
Yeah.
I have no clue. But
oh my God.
It's like being like the president, but for a specific period of time, right? Like it's like it's like
what do you do as the president of the PyTorch Foundation?
Oh, what does he do? I don't know. We'll have to ask him later.
Oh, okay. Good question.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him later. That's a good question.
Okay.
I suppose he runs the foundation, signs off on papers, sees the projects that are coming in, sees what people are doing, Probably the most important stuff is signing off on papers, which is really ironic. Anyway, yes.
Why don't we talk about, I guess, like, can people hear us? Because I'm just afraid if like we're too far away from the camera. Okay, maybe we migrate a little bit from just in case we need to shout it.
Oh, hey, it's Andrew. Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I have a question. So basically, since like some of our listeners are investors.
Yeah.
And what are some interesting things that through your events, since you hosted events at GitHub on Monday, and what were some like interesting trends in the AI agent space?
Yeah. So first of all, I think AI agents is the big trend right now. So last year when we were doing demos, a lot of stuff was not AI agents. It was like some other people were showing like a lot of things, kind of like LangChain, the Llama Index. They were showing like you know what? Actually, I think is really weird is there's a lot of coding agents. Everybody wants to build a coding agent, and I think part of the reason for that is because all the people who are building these things are developers, and what problems do developers have? They don't want to write code. And so they build these coding agents that will help them write the code. Well, I mean, when I was a dev, I didn't like writing code anyway. Anyway, that's the boring part. That's why everybody who's a software engineer is like, oh, when you go into being a software engineer, you're just a coding monkey. But that's like the number one thing that I see people build is these like coding agents. And then.
So what's your thought on, is that cognition?
Cognition?
Yeah, the dev people.
Yes. What was my thoughts on that?
Yeah.
As in like
are they like what is like the most useful, I guess, like is that like I guess like the co-pilot of code or like and for dev to apply into coding?
I don't know if this is like this might be a me thing, because a lot of people are saying that they're building like apps on Cursor in like 2 hours, and I'm like sitting here and I'm like, I just don't understand how you're doing this. Maybe it's a me thing. I might just be bad at using Cursor. But a lot of people are kind of like using these coding agents to build these like basic simple apps. So actually we have a demo today from a company called Sample App that says you can do it in like 2 or 3 prompts.
2 or 3 prompts just to build like an app. That's functional.
Yeah, it's insane. So I was like, okay, well we'll see.
Yeah, for the non-technical or like business people, what is Cursor?
Cursor is like it's a AI powered like IDE. It's AI. Oh, you probably don't know what an IDE is either.
Bad. Anyway.
It's if you want to write code, or if you want to have code written for you, but you don't actually want to write the code and you want to like describe what you want to build in plain English. You describe what you want to build in plain English to Cursor, and then Cursor will build the code for you. Will write the code.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think didn't OpenAI launch something?
Yeah, there's
about
a lot of competitors
just literally like coding in English.
Yeah. So that's what Devin/Cognition does as well. There's a lot of, I mean, they might do other things as well, but that's the basics of it. And there's a lot of different things around this now.
Right. So in the future, do you feel like people will just code in English, or what's the vibe?
I think you can get started coding in English, but there's a lot of challenges around this right now that, well, I don't know, like LLMs might be able to address this in the future as they get better. But a lot of the challenges right now are around like handling large code bases, and then also it's not hard to build a one file application. It's when you go beyond that and you start trying to build larger apps that you run into like context issues, memory management issues, compute issues, things like that. So it's when you get to that size that you start running into problems. And so I think that's part of why there's so many things around people trying to build more, longer context windows and stuff like that.
You want to ask a question? We're literally recording a live podcast right now.
You want to be on the podcast?
You want to be on the podcast? No, you want to ask any questions?
It's chill, yeah.
It's live.
It's live.
Yeah.
What's the podcast?
I'm just being interviewed.
Okay. Yeah.
I did not think of that.
Okay.
No, what's up? Okay. I mean, if you want to be on it, you can be on the podcast. We're offering free publicity to people here today.
Yeah. Okay. So question. So since like I feel like AI has still been the dominant factor of like people like what VC invest in. So how do you see money flow in the industry right now in the dev tool community?
There's a lot.
Yeah, who's getting, I guess, like what is like the most, I guess, like what is the most shocking thing for you to see? Like, where do people actually invest? And then how do you feel like the business model is working or not working?
Oh, business models. Now that's a totally different question. If you talk to developers about business, I think you're going to hear a lot of different things.
What would be the different things? Is that like, I mean, obviously open source is a thing. Hi, Anthony. Okay, so I feel like obviously, like I guess, like
have you seen the show Silicon Valley?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, you know that part where they talk about you should be pre-revenue.
Oh yeah,
Yes, so there are some plays like that here still.
yeah.
Not as
Still,
many, but
Yeah.
there are. And then there are also like companies that are immediately coming out and just like finding ways to monetize their projects. But the open source play is mostly like it's based on growth. It's based on how many GitHub stars you have, how many downloads you have.
Yeah, so
things
I
like
heard,
that.
I think like from investor on our podcast, it was like 8K is like the minimum star that they track.
Okay,
8K on GitHub.
8,000 on GitHub. Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds
is it
pretty, that
good or
sounds
not?
about
Like,
right.
but like, can you really have that stuff? Like, people used to
Oh,
ask you to upvote these
Yeah.
like stuff on Product Hunt, and
Yeah.
like, do people do that
yeah,
with
Product
like,
Hunt
other
is
stuff?
Product Hunt is a MLM. It's a multi-level marketing scheme.
It is like, because I personally vote stuff that I don't know all the time. Like, sorry. Yeah, like literally, I remember a period of time, like literally my Facebook DMs are like literally people asking me to upload their stuff. I have no clue what they're building, but I just upload.
Yeah. How's it going, Jocelyn?
Hi, we're
You
on
wanna be
a
on
live
the
podcast.
podcast?
You
You wanna
want to
say hi?
just say hi?
Okay.
Yeah, you wanna
Yeah.
pop in the
Hi.
background? This is Jocelyn from Pinecone. She's
Hi.
also here today.
Yes, Pinecone.
Yeah. Free ads, but anyway. Yeah. We actually have Pinecone's board member Bob Maglia
Oh,
on
great.
the show before. Yeah.
Great. So you're getting a lot of things from Pinecone, or
Yeah.
doing a lot of things.
Oh,
from
we have
Pinecone.
Peter from Wing VC also
Oh,
invests in them.
okay.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
show as well.
So also Wing is a Python IDE. So when I first saw that, I was looking through
Meaning
your
what?
stuff.
What is ID?
Oh, an IDE stands for Intelligent Development Environment, but really what it is, it's like a place where you type code.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like StreamYard for code.
StreamYard for code. I'm sorry. What?
Like
What does
StreamYard,
that
you
even
stream
mean?
different platforms.
Okay.
IDEs, you code on them, and you deploy them
Okay,
to different
good
platforms
analogy.
later. Yeah.
Okay, I'm hearing it. But
Okay.
anyway, okay, keep going. Sorry, where does the money flow? What are
Where does
people
the money flow?
getting?
Yes,
And then
yes.
What's the business model? For
8,000 is a good 8,000. Yeah, 8,000
Like, okay,
stars open
so
source. You're doing good.
How is it ranked on GitHub?
Oh, GitHub does trending. So it's if you get a
How
high
do I get trend on
so
GitHub?
if you get a lot of people who are upvoting or upvoting your repo
Mhm.
in a week, then you become trending. Now there's
Oh,
no
okay.
real set numbers for trending,
Mhm.
but it's usually like it's mostly based on like your momentum. It's not
Mhm.
necessarily based on like an absolute amount of stars. It's mostly
Mhm.
based on like it's more I think it's like some balance of percentage and absolute and stuff like that.
Mhm.
They don't reveal these algorithms to anyone.
Mhm.
But if you get on GitHub trending, you're probably doing a good job.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess are those like primarily open source stuff or like
Open
is-
source stuff,
Okay.
yeah,
So GitHub is one open source stuff, or like can you just build a public, I guess like a popular project on GitHub?
So
without being open
GitHub has
source?
both private and public repos. The private repos are your proprietary stuff that your
Right.
team maintains.
Mhm.
The public repos are the open source stuff. So if you
Mhm.
have a public project on GitHub, it is open source.
Mhm.
Now, when you get into open source, there's a bunch of different arguments around open source. There's different licensing. There's like licensing that's permissive, that's commercially permissive, that's not commercially permissive. There was
What does
one
that mean? So commercially permissive is like you have to pay to use it, or like
commercially
just like
permissive.
freemium stuff?
Commercially permissive means you can use it for free.
Okay.
And then non-commercially permissive is like it's like you
You have
can
to pay.
use it, but it's like you can use it for personal projects, but
Okay.
you can't use it for like projects that you sell.
Got it.
And then
Okay.
there's also like so for example, Anaconda just got in a lot of hot water.
Yeah, what is it?
recently because they changed their licensing so that
Mhm.
it's only free for companies that have under 200 employees,
Mm.
which is like that's a lot of employees. You got 200 employees, it's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of employees. You probably can pay for some software at that point, but some people are upset about this.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some popular projects on GitHub today?
What are some popular projects on GitHub today?
Yeah,
I have no
as
clue.
of today.
I have no clue. No,
Okay,
I don't
I'm
know about
prepared.
today.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Okay, so since you host a lot of these dev tool events,
Yeah.
what is like the core 3 top project that you have in mind that you feel like our developers are building right now that you think actually have longevity?
Oh, okay, great. So I think I've started to see some things that are like these vertical agents that YC has been talking about for a while. So these are like finance agents. Actually, finance agents is pretty popular. Yeah. That one. Legal agents. That's also pretty popular. And then the other one would be, let's see, finance agents, legal agents.
Sorry, I literally did not record the entire transcript, but okay, keep going.
Okay.
We're good. It's fine. It's gonna be okay. I think
It's gonna be okay. Don't worry about it. I think it's
Okay,
gonna be fine.
yeah. We're start recording now. No, it's recorded. Everything is recorded, but it's just I didn't turn on the transcript
Okay.
stuff. But
No,
anyway, keep going.
I'm
We can
chilling.
always transcript later, but like just saying. Also, people started showing up, but
Oh
just
yes,
describing
there's a lot
for
more people
the
now.
universe. But
I'm
anyway.
chilling.
Okay, I'm grabbing the coffee. Okay.
Okay.
What are some projects that actually
Yeah, so
are
the
good?
finance agents, legal agents, and then I think I think this is probably kind of like maybe like a hot take is um, the frameworks that are more vertical. So there's
What is like framework more vertical?
yeah. So I'm trying to think about how to best describe this. So there's if you think about coding, there's this thing we call the stack, and so there's like
Describe the stack for people.
yeah, I'm about to.
Okay. Bad.
there's like the bottom layer where it's like your GPUs, your CPUs, your memory, your databases, and then there's like your code and your frameworks on top of your code, your applications that are built on those frameworks. That's like a very like broad like vague definition of the stack, but that's close enough to what you think about. So there's these companies that are starting to come. So initially, when you think about like LangChain or Llama Index, they came in and they built this thing that's pretty much strictly at the framework level. Now they've changed since then, but initially they built this thing that was strictly at the framework level. Now you're starting to see companies that are not just at the framework level, but also like give you like an underlying like database or an underlying way to call to use different compute layer stuff. And so this kind of like, I think this area is very interesting. It's very opinionated. It's not the same as like where you're like LangChain or Llama Index. You go very broad. You get as many partnerships. You get as many integrations as you can. And now there's this interesting layer that kind of comes in and does a little bit of both. It's a very opinionated, and I think there's a few kind of ways to look at it, but I think one of the interesting things to think about with this is like perhaps because it's so opinionated and so niche, this is going to be somewhere where you can see like something big come out of it because it's going to start in a very niche layer and it's going to take a very small market and then expand.
Okay, so from the business level, like how do they expand? Is that just like you build like open source stuff and then so devs start using it and then like they tell their CTO to be like, yo, can you just pay for this?
So that is fine to do open source, but the taking a small market and expanding motion actually relies on your ability to not just build open source and tutorials and stuff like that and do the marketing, but for you to actually go out and like go and one-on-one talk to devs and one-on-one talk to people or like tech leaders. So actually, I would equate that. Maybe not equate, but I would relate it closely to the initial Databricks strategy, right? So when Databricks was doing one of their early on in Databricks, one of the things they did was they sent their solutions architects across the country, and they were like, "Hey, we're going to build this integration for you. All you have to do is commit to a certain level of payment." And so that's basically what they did. I'm not saying that's the only reason why Databricks is so successful, but I think that was a good start for them. And I think if you want to take a small niche market, that's a very good place to start.
Okay, so they send a solution engineer to every company or like across
Basically, so like let's say
or...
for example, you have
actually how did Databricks get started? Because right now they're hot, but like I mean I don't know how they got here before this.
Yeah, so I never worked at Databricks. I'm not a Databricks investor, so don't take my word for exactly how this works. But if you back in I don't even know when Cloudera got started. Back in like the big data days, there was like Hadoop, there was Spark, there was Cloudera basically helped you do this kind of stuff, right?
I'm pretty sure we have 3 guests who came on talk about Hadoop and stuff, but still, like, please feel free to explain to the audience, just because I feel like our audience are a mix of like technical and non-technical.
Hadoop is a big data management platform. Basically, it runs on this thing called MapReduce. At least that's as far as I understand it. And Hadoop is so 2016.
Okay. Do not stop listening if you work at Hadoop. But keep going.
But Spark is this thing that does real time. It's really batch, but real time data streaming. And Cloudera basically went, and Cloudera actually was very instrumental in making Spark popular, but they weren't the maintainers of Spark. The maintainers of Spark were the people who started Databricks. After Cloudera had already kind of helped make Spark popular, the Databricks people were like, hey, we're going to start this company now around this open source. They're one of the first companies to do this open source move, and then people paid for the cloud compute, basically.
Ooh.
Is this guy asking a question?
Hi,
or is
William.
this also a comment?
Okay. Please use is this a question or is this like a commercial? Or what can you identify? Because I cannot identify.
Let's see.
anything.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah,
I'm sorry,
blah.
William.
Solution,
We
history,
love you. Bye.
something that even Oh, am I seeing the same trend basically on like he's asking about Occam's razor, which is like what I don't even know what Occam's razor is, but it's something about simple. The simplest explanation is always right, or something like that. I think this is a good place to start. Like, I think the reality is like
Okay,
a lot
translate
of these,
the question to the audience and then maybe we address it.
Basically the question is like, can you use no-code agent builders?
Okay, can you?
You can.
Okay.
And it's a good place to start. And it's a really good place for like building simple things.
Mhm.
But I think if you want to build more like custom enterprise level applications, you're gonna need you just need to know how to code, because it's actually not coding the application itself that becomes hard. It's actually the production, scaling it, putting it onto like load distribution, that kind of stuff that makes the agent stuff like hard.
Mhm. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. For the people who cannot code, like what does the future look like? And then also I have a question. So since like I feel like everywhere is talking about like, right now we don't need the entry level developer anymore since there's like the Copilot
Oh, sure.
exists. But the problem is like if we have no entry level developers, like how can we get senior developers?
Yeah.
Because everyone just skips the entry level.
Yeah. You know that meme that says like the reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated? You know, that
No,
like, oh,
but
damn.
yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Not
I'm on the
that
internet
in-
too much, I
Okay.
guess.
The cat memes are not enough.
So that's how I feel about the whole like junior dev thing. Like, of course we need junior devs. Who do you think is going to do the grunt work? Who do you think is going to
Exactly.
do all the coding? You think you're going to pay someone $250,000 a year to edit ChatGPT codes? No. You're going to pay someone like $100,000 a year to do that.
Hi,
Oh, hi.
Tawama. Hi. Okay, Tawama's the OG.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But like the senior devs, like the real work of senior devs isn't even coding. The real work of senior devs is coming up with projects, coming up with architectures, understanding what the customer requirements are and understanding what the business requirements are, and distilling that into an application that you can then create. So you're going to need junior devs. You're always going to need junior devs. Then maybe what they'll do is they'll edit ChatGPT code, which I think is terrible. But like,
Is ChatGPT actually good at coding?
I just use ChatGPT as like generative
Okay.
AI, LLMs. Okay, maybe what they're going to do is they're going to edit LLM code, and I think that's terrible practice, because I think you should really go in and like learn how to do the coding. And then if you want to forget it, go forget it. For example, I have no idea how hash maps work anymore, but I did learn at some point. I have no
What is
idea how the
hash
OS works. It's like a way to like do lookup in O of 1 time and constant time. So basically, like
Wait,
it's a map. It's a map.
Oh, also we talk about O1.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
O1 is a GPT model. When I said O of 1, I meant big O, which is a time notation.
What does that mean? What is time?
So there's
You're not imagining getting this many one-on-one level questions because this is a dev community right here in front of us. But I feel like the audience are coming from different backgrounds.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Also, like I feel people look super
oh yeah,
confused.
you can see that.
By the way, people started like rolling in, and this thing is gonna start in like 30-23 minutes. But we're just like doing the pre-podcast. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So
O1.
there's this thing called big O notation that notates something called time complexity, and
What is time complexity?
it's it tells you how long something's going to take, basically. So let's think about this. So how do I explain this? Let's say you have like I'll give you some examples. So let's say you want to add a bunch of numbers together. If you want to, okay, well, let's say you want to go through a list of numbers. They call that list traversal. That's ON. That's big O of N. That means it's a linear time complexity. So you go through, because every time you add to the list of numbers, there's more numbers, and it's going to take you an equivalent amount of time to go through each number. So every time you add numbers, it just increments like that. And then there's things like O square time complexity. So like that would be like if you were to do, oh God, what's a classic? All I can think of is sort algorithms.
Do not die.
I just think of like sorting algorithms, but I really don't want to explain a sort algorithm.
You don't want to?
I don't want to explain a sort algorithm.
No.
That's like a technical interview question. You go to a software interview and they're like, explain how you do this in O of N time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's like it's time complexity is just the way you can measure how long it takes to do something. I'll give you an interesting one. So LLMs run on this thing called matrix computations because they run on these things called transformer models. Transformer models rely heavily on matrix multiplication. Matrix multiplication is traditionally O(n) cubed time, which means it takes a long fucking time to do. There's been a ton of research recently into how do you make this faster, and there was like a huge like breakthrough research article where they reduced it from so in the past like 30 years they reduced it from n cubed down to n like to 2.378 or something like that. And then there was this massive breakthrough recently where they reduced it to 2.377 or something like that. And you think like, oh, this is a tiny change, but like exponents as you scale n, like so 10 squared versus like 100 squared, there's a huge difference there. So that tiny change actually makes it a lot faster. And then now there's also like different GPUs that allow you to do it in constant time and all this kind of stuff. But yeah.
Okay, so since one of your sponsors is GMI Cloud, what is it?
GMI Cloud, yes. GMI Cloud
free
is
ads.
yeah.
Sponsors.
GMI Cloud is an inference platform. Actually, well, they will be. So right now they sell GPU compute for you to go train your models. They don't have it on their website.
AI also sell?
Yeah, so Together AI, Fireworks AI, GMI Cloud is getting into the space. Octo AI was in the space. I'm not wearing my Octo AI shirt. I had an Octo AI used to be based in Seattle. They got bought by Nvidia last year. But they used to be in the space.
What is Nvidia buying these days?
What is Nvidia buying these days? What is Nvidia buying these days? That's a great question. I have no clue, but they bought Octo AI.
Okay.
I think they bought Octo AI for the compute platform.
Okay, explain to me. So like, I mean,
researchers.
from my understanding, Together or like the equivalent are like doing stuff like, they rent out GPU to like other people.
Yeah.
Like crowd renting.
I don't know if it's crowd. I don't know exactly how Together works, but yeah, they're basically renting you GPUs. They're like, there's a bunch of companies that do this. Like Salad also does this.
So
like
why
Vast
is
does
it,
this. Ori does this.
I guess like why is it like a thing? So why can't Nvidia just like crowdsource GPU themselves?
What do you
Like
mean?
not crowdsource, but like I guess like from my understanding, what these company does is kind of like you buy like a bigger package and then you sell it to other people with smaller packages.
Yes, you're like, it's not selling, they're renting. GPUs.
Yeah.
So imagine if Nvidia stopped selling GPUs. I'm sure that selling GPUs is a big part of their business. They're not just going to stop selling GPUs. So there's a fixed cost of buying the GPUs, and then there's a variable cost of running the GPUs. So a lot of people, what they do is they buy GPUs, and then they're only using them part of the time. So when they're not using them, they'll rent them out to you. This is exactly how Bitcoin mining worked too.
Okay, yeah. Speak of Bitcoin mining. So the other day, my friend were telling me, people would in the past, like the crypto people were doing, they're renting out these data centers, and then so someone is building data centers can make a lot of money. So like, tell us more about the data center.
GMI Cloud also has their own data centers.
Meaning what? Like, so it's not just like a bunch of literal machines.
Do you know what the cloud
like
is?
A room. I mean, you tell me. I mean, I know the cloud, but like,
where do you think the cloud lives?
Cloud.
Okay, so the cloud is. I think the cloud is such a weird name because when you say the cloud, you
so
think
basically,
of like it's up here. But the cloud is a data center. That's what the cloud is.
And then that's like basically sending out signals to the sky, or what's happening there?
Okay, that gets a lot more complex. There's a bunch of different ways you can do that.
I'm sorry.
There's
now
like
today,
wires,
this makes me sound so dumb, but I don't
There's
care.
a bunch of different ways that the cloud works. I don't even know all the ways the cloud works. It's very, very complicated.
So
but the cloud is a data center.
Yeah, so the data centers are always in like these like really
Random
suburban
areas.
stuff, right?
Why? It's cheap.
True.
The land is cheap.
But okay, so what do you want to like? I guess like what does it entail to like actually build the data center? Because I think I used to work in real estate investing, and then like even like I know people in the industry been studying data center for a while
Yeah.
because I think that's like where they assume people will actually start it renting or whatever. But like I don't understand what's the difference between like you just have like a Amazon warehouse and then put the machine there. Or,
You have to have like the right cooling. You have to make sure you have backup power. You have to
Yeah.
make sure that you're not like overdrawing the power grid. You have to make sure you have a certain level of uptime. You have to
explain
make
the
sure you have
power
a certain
grid.
level of
What does that
redundancy.
mean?
All right,
Okay,
that's
people start
beyond me.
flying big time, but okay, well,
That's
Yeah.
beyond me. I don't know anything about the power grid.
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, no power. So like, what does it mean to build a data center?
It means that you build like a room or like a facility
Mhm.
that usually has a lot of security,
Mhm.
that has like these places where you have these, they're called racks. So you put like GPUs, CPUs, whatever,
Mhm.
and then you have to have cooling for them, which is sometimes liquid cooled, sometimes air cooled. It costs a lot of money to cool things. And then
Like literally, is this like just like air conditioning the entire thing, or what's cooling?
so sometimes it's big air conditioning, sometimes it's liquid cooling, which are these tubes that
Yeah.
like cold water or cold other things, just liquid nitrogen, whatever, will like flow through and they'll like draw in heat.
Yeah.
And because when you're running GPUs, CPUs, you produce a lot of heat.
Okay. Great. So like, how do people? I guess like talking about the GPUs.
Sure.
So there's the data center, and then there's what? So like, what does it mean to like build GPUs, and then why is it so expensive? And now like DeepSeek is happening. I know the 32 decimal to 8 decimal situation is happening,
Yeah.
but like explain more. So like,
Explain
are
more
they?
how.
I guess like, are we gonna just everyone start using DeepSeek, or like what's
Oh.
happening to Nvidia right now?
I actually think the whole like all of these new models that are saying, oh, training is cheaper, just means that training is cheaper. Training is not the main cost of using AI. It's inference, which is basically why people sell these GPU compute things. So my opinion, it's just a blip. Nothing's really happening with Nvidia. They're going to continue making money. They're going to continue making a lot of money. They're going to sell the GPUs. They're going to be expensive.
What's I guess like how do you explain about the GPU business model? So is it like just people? I know some people buy and some people rent. Some like these like other. We just talk about these other competitors of them to crowd rent.
Sure.
Or
Explain the GPU business
like
model.
maybe I guess
they
like
build GPUs and they sell them.
okay. So that's costing I don't know 20K.
That's like
each
Nvidia.
GPU. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know actually. I don't know why they're selling them for so much. I think it's just because they can.
Anyway, okay, so let's go back to since like the audience like almost our room is like basically full at this point. Why don't we talk about the overview of today's conference again?
Okay. Yeah. So
what's the first session?
The first session, I got the
Event list.
Yeah,
you
I have
had to
the.
literally look this up.
So the first session is going to be, well, it was going to be Ayush, but he's actually not here. He had to go back to India. It's going to be with Tony Holtzstock-Brown. We're going to be talking about building agents IRL. So Ingest is building this kind of framework that allows you to build
If
agents.
you're in SF today, come to AWS Loft.
Yes.
We're here live.
AWS Loft. We are. But Tony Holtzstock-Brown is going to be talking about how you build agents, and then we'll be having a talk with Robbie. I think it's how you pronounce it, Robbie Shankar Guha, and they do generative UI, which is also like an interesting.
What is generative UI?
So you know what UI is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now.
So now it's generate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
what's the challenge? Hi, Nor. Hey
oh, hey,
guys.
I know Nor.
Okay, go. Talk about the.
I think here. Let me.
Yeah, here.
Hey guys, have you noticed some applications of AI agents in the healthcare sector that you think are getting traction? I'm mostly talking about cases where there would be no need for FDA approval. Nope, I got nothing.
A bridge? Is a bridge considered AI agent or no? Like, I mean, a bridge is like the record transcribe system that like you can use in the hospital, but it's AI.
It is AI, but I don't know if it's an agent.
I don't think it's an agent, but
they're doing really well. They raised $150 million last year.
They're doing really well. They're investing on our show, so.
Oh, cool. Yeah. one of my friends knows like someone like who's like one of the founders or something like that, and so he was telling me about it, and I was like, oh, very cool.
Yeah. So speaking of healthcare, let me think about. I mean, the other day I saw like I think it's just like replacing the front desk of healthcare. I don't know if that's considered like AI agent or like what it is, but I think it's just always like there's like in the past you call it app, now you call it AI agent.
Oh yes,
somewhat,
yes.
right?
I mean, sometimes it's really an AI agent, sometimes it's just a marketing term.
Yeah. Okay. So keep going about the agenda.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I already put it back in my pocket. I gotta look it up
Sorry.
again.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll have lunch. I actually said lunch is from 11:45, but it's actually going to come at 12 today. And then we'll have the exhibitor showcase. Oh, sorry. Before that, we have a panel with Arise and Pinecone with Sally Ann DeLuca and Corey Waddingham. And then we'll have the exhibitor showcase. We'll have a bunch of 4-minute demos. So if you haven't been to any of my events before, one of the things I love doing is I love doing demos, and I love doing lightning demos. 4 minutes, I think, that's too long. But hey, you know what? It's good sometimes to have people give longer demos. They can tell you more about it. And then after that, we'll have some networking. We'll have a break so people can kind of relax, chill. And then I'm going to yell at people to come back into the room. And we have 24 people who are signed up to do a 2-minute demo, which I think is the right amount of time for a demo. 2 to 3 minutes is really the right amount of time.
Comment down below if you want us to stream the panel.
If you can't do a demo in 2 to 3 minutes, sucks to be you. What's up?
You want to come on to our podcast?
Yeah, sure. I'm sure we'll do the announcement
Yeah.
I'll do the announcement for the demos at 2:30.
No, you want to come? Like
just
we're
say
literally
hi.
facing this.
Yeah.
Sorry,
We
I
have
need to
one
like.
of the attendees is here to say hi.
Yeah, attendee.
Please wave.
Oh, by the way, I want to stream to like so people start rolling in, and then we'll have more people.
Yeah. This is just a start, so.
Yeah, you want to ask your question here, or is there?
I can make an introduction.
Okay, you want to do it?
All right, here's your free
Yeah,
your
30
free
second
press.
intro.
Yeah, Joseph Webby. We built the Massachusetts AI ecosystem, New Jersey AI ecosystem, California, Washington, D.C., and Saudi Arabia AI ecosystem. So when a government announces an AI hub, they need a software layer to manage their AI hub. So Daimless is the software company to manage that. We're based in Princeton, New Jersey.
Very cool.
Very cool.
All right.
Should we feature some other audience that are building cool stuff, or like?
Sure.
Maybe
Let's get through this.
Let's get through
first,
this.
and
Yeah.
we'll do that. So then we have Matt White, who's coming. He's the Linux Foundation guy. And then we have Tatiana Mahmoud, who has put O1 into production. That's what she wants to talk about. So we'll have her talk about that.
Yeah.
I know we only have
I think
10
I will be
minutes.
moderating that panel.
Yeah,
based off our discussion.
you'll be moderating that one.
Okay.
You can moderate whichever ones you want. I'm honestly happy to not moderate any of them, but we'll see.
I'm dead.
And then this is my plug. So if you're
plug.
anywhere in the world, if you're near Seattle, if you're on the West Coast, even if you're on the East Coast, we got people from New York. March 28th, Seattle Startup Summit. You should come. It's going to be bigger than this. We have a 2,000 person room. We're only expecting about 800 to 1,000 people. And there will be a lot of people there. Databricks, Pinecone, Rise, Her, GMI Cloud. We got a VP from AWS, a VP from Microsoft, a CIO of something from JP Morgan. So we got a lot of people who are building in this space coming. And if you're around, you should totally check that out.
Okay,
Yeah.
I should give myself a plug.
Yeah. Give yourself a
So
plug.
I'm doing. This will be my first announcement here, but I'm doing something really exciting. It will be my first conference, April 9. It's in SF. It's gonna be really big. But anyway,
Amazing.
so okay,
I might have to be down here that week then.
Yeah, you have
I
to.
wasn't planning to be,
At this
but
point,
I
you have to
might
go
have
to you have to speak at my event, and then you have to go to the Stanford to teach a class.
Oh yes, I'm also a guest lecturer at Stanford. That's crazy. Okay, you want to see if anyone wants to come and say hi?
Yeah, anyone you know that's building a great project.
Hey, you want to come say hi to the camera, to the podcast? You. Yeah.
Wow, this is such a random
All right, let's
selection.
go.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I feel so bad. Do you know each other, or like what is happening?
How's it going?
Okay.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's
Hi.
going
Introduce
on?
yourself to the
Okay,
podcast.
introduce.
Yeah, how many viewers do we have here? Just so I know what the audience is.
No. So like, there's like, so I'm streaming on 6 different
She
platforms.
gets, like,
This is just one.
half a million like people to come and like watch your podcast. So
Oh,
it's
really?
a lot.
Okay, well, now I'm a subscriber.
Okay, thank you. Okay, go for it. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Hey,
Shut up.
hey, everybody. So my name is Ray, and with a company called Amara Networks. And what we do is we provide bare metal GPUs. We provide CPUs through Dell. And we also help people source data centers for
Oh,
when they
wow.
buy GPUs. So yeah, I've been in the data center industry for 25 years. So feel free to plug me in. Nice to meet Yujian, and I never got your name.
I'm Grace.
Grace, nice to meet you,
Nice to
Ray.
meet
Yeah,
you.
it's
So
a
if you
pleasure.
want to
Oh
know
my
about data centers, this is your guy.
The guy. Okay.
Yeah,
Want to
data
share
center, that's
any
me.
insights on the data center?
Yeah, so
What is like one thing that you feel like the audience may not know about data center?
so I think people are preparing themselves to purchase the B200s. And I think that people don't really realize the data center capacity to support B200s require liquid cooled environments, because you have to like, so for example, like, traditionally a cabinet is like 15 kW. Now it's people are pushing the envelope for 120 kW per cabinet, which is like probably maybe like $2 to $5 million per cabinet. And a cabinet's like a closet, right? 24 inches, 48 inches deep, 42 inches high. So that's a lot of compute in this cabinet. And then you have to select a data center that actually has chilled water in the suite. And within the data center landscape globally, less than 30% of the capacity probably only has chilled water to the suite. So the H200s are air cooled. You don't need to plug in chilled water to these GPUs to cool that actual GPU. But a B200, you actually have to have plumbing to plug into every server to remove the rejection of the heat that dissipates within that GPU. So it's a lot more complicated. There's newer traits that need to be involved. People that work in data centers typically are technicians. Now you may need a mixture of a plumber and an electrical engineer to kind of be there to troubleshoot in that event of a spillage or a GPU that may be, leaking. You could be introducing condensation. There's all these little nuances and traits that the data industry is particularly solving for. And I'm in the middle of the core and putting something like that together. So
Very cool.
Awesome.
Check
Yeah.
him out.
Great
We'll
to
link to
learn.
your LinkedIn down below.
that'd be awesome.
Okay, awesome.
Cool. I'm
Yeah,
gonna call
cool.
someone else up.
Okay.
Shapeform, Dylan. You guys want to come say something on this podcast?
This is so, by the way, the audience, don't be confused. This is actually random selection of the audience, like live audience. Okay.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Hi.
Good to meet you. We're on a
I'm
podcast.
Grace. Nice to meet
This
you.
podcast
Okay,
get
go
like
for-
500,000 views a day or a week or something
nice.
like that. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Dylan. I work at Shadeform. I lead our go-to-market, and we're essentially a GPU marketplace for big clouds like Lambda Labs, Nebius, Crusoe, Vultr, and about 20 or so more. We'll let you compare pricing and then deploy with one account. So pretty cool stuff. Check us out.
Cool.
Wait, this is such a good pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very fast
Yeah,
and a very
This
good
is,
pitch.
this is all the
Yeah.
people who are. Let's see. Where's Corey? He's here. Is Corey here? I don't see. Sally Ann, you want to come say hi to the podcast? We have room for. I think we have like 5 more minutes. So
I love your
just
outfit.
introduce yourself. Tell us
Yeah.
about yourself. Tell us about Arise.
Love that.
Tell us about how you became such a model. It's a great fashion sense.
I do have a great fashion sense. Thank you.
I do. I love the outfit. I was
Hey,
like,
y'all. I'm Sally Ann. I'm product manager at Arise AI. We focus on observability, evals for both the ML, but mostly the LM side of the house. I don't know what really else to say.
Are you still in New York?
No, I'm actually in
You
Denver
moved-
now.
Oh, you're in Denver.
Denver now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, out with Claire.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. You guys ever hang out?
she actually left.
Oh,
Yeah, and
wow.
again, to the
Oh,
details.
okay. Well,
the community going strong.
yeah.
She moved, I think, back to New Mexico, where she's from. Where she's
Oh, yeah.
from.
She did tell me
Yeah.
that she was going to do something
Yeah,
like that.
so that's
Okay.
really cool. I think.
Okay.
What is one thing about like today's sessions that you're most excited about?
I really always love being
She's
on a
speaking.
panel and
Okay.
and listening to them too, because I always feel like there's really great
Mhm.
conversation. There's always different perspectives, and then, like the audience gets to ask their questions, and so I always think that like when it's conversational, it's always the best part.
Give us like maybe one sneak peek of your panel.
What are you going to say?
Yeah. I'm doing
Currently
some
writing
very-
the speech.
Corey from Pinecone, so there will be a little talk of like RAG and what the current
Mhm.
state is, and then I'm hoping to bring some perspective on like agents and multimodal stuff, which I'm really excited about. like the audio stuff. It's something that we like started supporting. I
Wait,
think
tell us more. I love the audio stuff. So
yeah,
what is it?
I think audio is like a modality that's kind of an industry disruptor. Like you think
Yeah.
about all of like the call centers, and even like I think about like accessibility of like how many like
Oh, yeah.
maybe like young people or like even older adults who can't type but they can talk. And so you can imagine how many applications will be more accessible because of audio, and how many industries will be really disrupted by it. So we just released audio support with evals, which I think are really important, because I think with multimodality, you can't just think about evals from like one of them. You have to think about both of them, and then you have to think about combining them. So I'm really excited about audio, and then I think that will also extend at some point to like video applications too, and like video input. So I'm pretty excited about the multimodality
Me too.
stuff.
Now I am too. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about your panel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody's audio use cases, come find me.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk about them.
Swag.
Awesome. We'll link to your LinkedIn down below.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. Find me.
Perfect.
Thanks,
all.
Al, again. Okay.
Okay, maybe one more.
Do we want to do one more? Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anyone else.
It
I
better be
know.
your favorite at this point, because we are about to wrap up.
I don't know anyone else who's sitting in the audience for a while. Hey, does anyone want to come say hi to the? Hey, Olean, do you want to come say something about the Gen AI Loft? Okay.
Okay,
there
perfect. Oh my
we go.
god.
Perfect. We've been calling people up to say hi to the podcast.
Yeah, come over.
Yes. And
Like
then
maybe
you can,
this.
you can
this
also
way.
say hi
yeah,
to the
come,
audience.
Come.
Right?
Yeah.
Come say hi to the podcast.
Yeah, together. Oh, at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where should I?
Just right
Yeah,
here.
here. Sorry, we just saved the important people at this
This is
area.
Olean.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Oh, it's me.
Well, we're recording a
Oh, sure.
podcast.
Nice to meet
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Finally.
So it's
I just,
live,
I
right?
mean,
Yeah.
1 week in San Francisco now. I flew in from Singapore.
Why don't we start
Okay.
with
One
yeah.
second.
We're on a podcast.
We're live right now. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, keep going. Yeah. So please tell us more about the
Gen AI
Loft.
Loft.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
happy to. Well, welcome everyone, and happy to be part of this podcast too. We are at the Gen AI Loft in San Francisco, AWS.
That's where we're live right now.
Exactly.
Yes, that's where we're live right now.
We're waiting for some more audience to join, which is the room is quite packed already. And so the Gen AI Loft reopened its doors a few months ago, and our goal is really to make sure that we are bringing in some third-party communities to talk about all the trends and innovations in the AI field. Make sure that you can work on topics with workshops, conferences, panel discussions, test products if you would like to, and make sure that developers communities can, well, get to know each other, work some more on their products, and, well, have a space in the center of San Francisco to all together. So,
Yeah.
and AWS really wants to make sure that it's accompanying all of those developers. So we just decided to reopen the space a few months ago.
Amazing. It's such a vibrant and just like a really cool place to actually learn about AI. As well as like I feel like the entire community here, I feel like people are loving it, especially the snack part. I feel like people are really going after it. But
Good.
thank you so much for hosting us today,
course.
and this will be amazing.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. It's going to last the entire day, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah.
last the entire day.
Lots of people coming in, some others coming out and coming back. So
Yes. I'm sure we'll have a lot of coming and going.
yeah. So it's going to be amazing. Well,
Okay,
fun.
Yeah.
we'll link
Happy
to your
have
LinkedIn down below as well.
perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Olean.
you so much. Okay, so our actual conference is about to start. Maybe we do like a last minute, I don't know, like wrap. You want to do fire run or like what do you want to do?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, fire run. What's your favorite book?
Oh man,
It's an actual
that's
fire
a,
run,
that's a
man.
tough one.
Yeah.
Recently, I've really liked the Upanishads.
What is that?
It's a set of like religious texts from the like a long time ago. It's like Hindu religious texts.
Oh wow, niche.
Yeah.
Sorry, no comments because I never read these things. I never read. I feel like nowadays, like I just listen. Who would you invite to your dinner party?
Who to invite to a dinner party? Like what kind of dinner party?
It's your party.
It's my party. I would invite my friends,
Me included.
including you. Yes.
Thanks. Who made the biggest impact in your career?
Who made the biggest impact on my career?
Yeah, was it Bill Gates because he created Microsoft?
It was Bill
Or
Gates
Jeff
because he
Bezos.
created Microsoft.
Jeff
It was Jeff
Bezos.
Bezos because he made Amazon.
Exactly.
No, I think the biggest impact on my career was probably one of my math teachers from high school who got me introduced into doing the computer science contest that ended up getting me a job at IBM.
Amazing. Who
His name is John Noland.
love that. Shout out, John. Where can we find you outside of work?
Where can you find me outside of work?
Yeah.
Well, recently I've been doing a lot of painting of the walls of my new house and also the cabinets.
Like literally that?
That's what I've been
okay.
doing a lot of.
Okay. Like hot take. I feel like people should follow you on Instagram because I feel like that's where the stuff are at. I'm sorry.
That's where you see my personality.
Yeah, like want to show people your outfit today.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Check this out, universe. Okay.
Ugh.
Okay, yeah, please go back. Take a seat. Okay, I feel like in the engineering community, you rarely see people wearing colors, but this guy obviously does.
I love bright colors.
Love that. Okay, so maybe like one AI trend you think should be canceled.
One AI trend I think should be canceled.
Embrace like cancel culture at this point.
Coding agents.
What?
Get the shit out of my face.
What is an AI trend that you feel like is underrated?
Underrated. Underrated AI stuff. I think maybe like actually like application layer stuff. So people who are like, because I feel like I see so many like agent frameworks, agent blah blah blah, agent blah blah blah, and there's no like actual applications. I want to see the applications. Give me the applications. How do I use these?
Yeah, true. But like I feel like that's very hot these days. Like AI agent, whenever you say AI agent, people think
That's because they're not
application
building
flow.
real AI agents. They're
Okay.
like, oh, it's AI, and then it's
it's
a
a
workflow.
wrapper.
Yeah, it's it's an AI workflow. It's not an AI agent. AI agents need, in my opinion, AI agents need to be as hands off as possible. They should be something that you tell it what to do, and it goes out and it does its thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, true. Like so it's like automatic AI agents. So like it's full on like it's like agent meaning like the AI does
It's like
the asking and then the AI does the stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
right now, but it's like
It's like a junior
your
employee, right?
Yeah,
like you're like, hey, can you go do this?
Yeah.
And then it comes back to you and says, okay, here are my problems, and then or it comes back to you and says, okay, here it's done.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So, hey, there you have it, people. If you're in SF, come to AWS Loft. We'll be here the whole day, and excited for all the panels. And then if you have any questions, comment on this link below, and then we'll try to answer it after or like during this entire conference. We have a lot of AI experts here today in one room, and if you want to just like ask anything or just like comment down below, and then I'll just give like a quick overview for like the audience. Hey guys, we're about to kick off. Okay, sorry. Okay, this is a really weird angle. Anyway, okay, thank you so much. Okay, you want to say bye to the audience?
Oh, this way, yes. But
Okay.
make sure you come to Seattle Startup Summit on March 28th.
Dead.